Bonjour everyone and welcome back to the Waves of Your Soul readings. I'm so excited to be doing this spring 2025 reading for all of my signs. For those of you who are new here, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you. My name is Maureen. I'm your humble French tarot reader, and today we're going to be looking at spring 2025. So March, April, and May. There's going to be a different video for all of my signs. For this reading, I have lots of fun decks I'm going to be using. All the names of the decks are going to be in the description box if I have any fellow deck goblins. And if you are, I encourage you to check out my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul, where I share with you my love for tarot and oracle cards. I encourage you for this spring reading to watch your sun, moon, and rising sign, as this will give you the most fulfilled reading, the most complete reading for you. Of course, you do you don't have to watch 3 videos, but if you feel called to, it's the way that you can get the most complete reading. And I will make sure to make a specific playlist for this spring reading so that you can find all the signs in the playlist and you can navigate between the videos a little bit easier. Before I get into the reading, I want to invite you to subscribe, and if you enjoy this reading, then the best way to support my work is to like, comment, share the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Your spring 2025 reading. Let's go. Okay, my Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, this is gonna be the reading for you for spring 2025. I'm super excited to be doing this reading for you. I have this adorable spring-themed tarot deck, which you're gonna see is very sparkly and fun, full of butterflies and bees and color like rainbow colors and little bunnies. So it's gonna be a joy to read the cards for you with this. And I also have some pre-pulled oracle cards, which we're actually gonna start with. I've not yet looked at them. We're gonna discover them together. We're gonna start our reading with that, and then we'll move on to tarot. So for my Sagittarius, I have a goddess card, which will represent a goddess energy, divine energy. So that can be your guardian, a goddess you may want to work with. It can also give us some information about the future upcoming season. I have an archetype card, and then I have a couple of oracle cards as well. So let's start with your goddess energy for my Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We have Rhiannon. Okay, so Rhiannon is a Celtic goddess. She is the goddess of fairies. She's also linked to magic, to fertility, and she is pulling the sun in Celtic mythology with the swiftness because she rides horses, specifically white horses, and it is said that nobody can catch up with her. She's such a fast rider, so she pulls the sun across the sky on her white horse. So she's often linked to movement, swiftness, right? And also a little bit, I would say, magic, as she's also linked to fairies. So super interesting. Let's see what else comes up, and then I'll tell you what I'm picking up from my Sagittarius. But let's see for your archetype. We have the Pilgrim. Okay, it's linked to opportunities and growth. Beautiful. And then for your oracle cards, we have To the Sea. Okay. And last one, we have Flexible. Okay. So for my Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, we have an idea already of potentially for this spring season, a desire for adventure, a desire for going on a certain quest, right? With the Pilgrim, we always have the idea of feeling called to walk your own path and of feeling called to discover new horizons, to go on your own pilgrimage. This is giving very hermit energy with this particular lantern. So hermit in tarot with the idea of potentially following one's light, of going on a certain quest, on a certain pilgrimage, on a certain desire to discover new things. So it could translate in the idea of like traveling to new places, exploring new places. You might be feeling to go and explore cities you've never been to, maybe taking new roads to go to work. Maybe you are feeling called to go on a little trip, even if it's a day trip, taking a weekend to go somewhere you've never been. But also I'm sensing it could be linked to an idea of an internal pilgrimage, of you discovering new facets of yourself, my Sagittarius, of you discovering new versions of yourself, potentially facets of yourself you haven't quite explored. So for some of you, maybe it's linked to, because we have Rhiannon here, it could be linked to a certain desire to spend more time in nature, a desire to spend more time moving, I really feel like for my Sagittarius, there's a desire for expansion. There is a desire to run free, right? Like Rhiannon. I told you Rhiannon, she's on her white horse and she goes so fast. The only people who can catch up with her are when she decides that she wants to be caught up with. Otherwise, nobody can go and catch up with her. She's just the fastest rider there is. And this is the vibe for my Sagittarius. There's a vibe of wanting to run free, of wanting to escape, of wanting to discover new places, of wanting to truly be like the horse who's running free in the field. There's a sense of freedom, of liberty, of potentially more lightheartedness, of adventure. So maybe my Sagittarius in spring will be, like I said, potentially called to go traveling, called to try new things, new hobbies, new sports, new activities. You might be called to go explore, to go outside your comfort zone, to discover new horizon. It could be because the pilgrim could relate to an internal also pilgrimage, a desire to discover new things that are a bit more internal and introspective, like maybe wanting to learn new things, maybe wanting to learn a new language, maybe wanting to learn a new skill. Overall, there's a sense of a big desire for freedom. For my Sagittarius, I see you wanting to escape anything or anyone that's trying to tie you down and make you feel stuck. So I would not be surprised if some of you feel called to even potentially end certain relationships or friendships that make you feel like you are being stuck, and even potentially wanting to leave certain situations or certain even jobs. I have a feeling for some of my Sagittarius, there's a desire to change jobs because you want more freedom. So for some of you, you're like wanting to no longer work for someone else, you want to start your own business, or you don't want to work and in an office anymore, you want to work from home and make your own hours. Like there's a desire for freedom from my Sagittarius for spring, which could apply in many different areas of your life. We do have, especially with this idea of to the sea, again, it's an idea of wanting to explore, wanting to open your horizon, wanting to escape anywhere or anyone that would try and tie you down. With To the Sea, we have the idea of the adventurer, of the pirate, right, who is on the ocean wanting to explore, discover new places. So truly honor your sense of freedom this springtime, my Sagittarius. Try and enjoy activities and potentially embrace a sense of quest and adventure and honor that. I think that will be super important for your well-being. Anything you can do where you are expanding your mind, where you're discovering new things, where you're going to explore, where you're honoring your inner adventurer will really help and really bring a fulfilling springtime. With flexible, I'm going back to, for me, it could be two things. In the career sense, for some of you, there's a desire for more flexibility again. I would not be surprised if some of you want to go part-time, if some of you want to change your hours, change your routine, change the way you work so you have more free time. Like maybe, like I said, it's going from working from a company to working for yourself. Maybe it's going from working to an office to working from home. Maybe it's deciding to change your days so you have different days, so you have more time for doing things you want. There's a sense of flexibility at work, flexi hours, all of that I'm hearing would be something that Sagittarius could be interested in implementing in their career sense, in the work sense. And in terms of interpersonal relationship, I am hearing that this could be related to remaining flexible regarding other people. This is something that's come up with for quite a few signs, actually. There's a sense that spring 2025, there could be, there's a lot of energies, there's a lot of retrogrades, there's a lot of things happening in the collective energy-wise with the planets and all of that. For some people, it could mean that they're feeling a little bit more anxious, a little bit more, like I always say, emotionally flammable. And so this is an invitation from my Sagittarius to remain flexible around people who feel like that, because I have a feeling that this is coming from externally to you. And so in that sense, it's saying don't get caught up by people's anxiety, don't get caught up by people's stress, don't get caught up by people's anger. Remain flexible. Remember that everyone is human. People make mistakes. Yes, there might be people who are a little bit more angsty, who are a little bit more prone to anger, quick to argue, quick to go to conflict around you, potentially. And like I said, this is coming up for quite a few signs. Think collectively, some people around us are going to be struggling with that, with all of this collective heaviness. And so it's your job, my Sagittarius, to remember that it's not personal, it's not meant to affect you personally. Remain flexible, try and avoid conflict where you can, or try and, if you can, have honest conversation so there's no miscommunication. Try and remember that people, like I said, are human. If you're working in a kind of job where you're facing a lot of people, maybe you're working in retail or hospitality, things like that, you might notice that people are a little bit more rude or more quick to like criticizing and things like that. If that's the case, this is an encouragement to say don't take things personally. Remember that everyone is going through their own thing. Remember to remain flexible. I'm hearing like water of a duck's back, right? So you're meant to be like a duck, and letting that stress, letting other people's like energy, bad vibes wash over you like you're the duck, right? This is water off a duck's back. Don't get too involved in other people's like heavy energy. You can remain flexible. You can move around it. Of course, like don't let people take advantage of you and stand up for yourself when it is needed. But there's an invitation here to really try and not take things too personally for this period of time. And like I said, this is something that's come up for quite a few signs. We're invited to remain flexible in our way that we deal with other people, with the collective at large, with the community at large, okay? So let's have a look. My Sagittarius, what should be your main goal for this spring season? What should be your main goal? What you are invited to really focus on? Your main goal for this particular season. We have the King of Swords, and we have the Four of Wands. Beautiful. It's interesting we have the King of Swords. It's not how he normally appears to me, but for your particular reading, he's appearing today as, again, the archetype of someone who, and look at this sparkliness. Ooh, it's so cute. Oh, this shimmer is so cute. Okay, so for this King of Swords, it's not how the King of Swords normally appears in tarot, but for your reading, he appears as someone who, again, embraces freedom, right? You can see he's got lots of birds around him, and even himself has wings. He's not going to let anyone or anything tell him, this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do, this is what you should be doing. No, the King of Swords takes decision for himself, and he doesn't let external opinion, external voices, people around him, societal opinions decide for him what he may or may not do. He really is an archetype, a figure of someone who knows what they want, who goes for things, and here he appears as someone who values freedom above all else. So it's going back to this idea of prioritizing a sense of freedom for my Sagittarius, and of not letting other people or societal noise or anything like that make you feel tied, make you feel restrained, right? The King of Swords also invites you to be stern and honest in the way that you communicate. You don't have to be rude, you don't have to be mean, but you can definitely be honest and direct, right? The King of Swords is inviting you to speak your truth, to say what you mean and mean what you say. If we're going back to the idea that some of you are faced with other people who are feeling more angsty, more rude, more prone to conflict, the King of Swords invites you to cut that stuff down, right? To speak sternly and be like, I will not get involved in this. This is not my problem. This is not mine to deal with. I will remove myself from the situation. He's very honest. He's very direct. And in that sense, again, protects his inner peace, protects his freedom. So that's also an archetype you're invited to embody, my Sagittarius. King of Swords can help you make certain decisions. If some of you have been thinking about acting on something and you've been having doubts, you've been struggling with a sense of inner critic, with a sense of inner saboteur, you've been unable to really act on this idea or decision you want, you keep doubting yourself, this springtime could be the moment where you go for things, because the King of Swords is there to help you to truly commit to things, to take the decision and act on it. Again, he doesn't really have time for over-doubting. He knows what he wants, and he's direct, he's honest and clear-minded, clear-sighted, able to look at things very fairly and able to then commit to things. So he can help you take important decisions as well, my Sagittarius, who've had to make choices or who've been like doubting themselves. I think in this springtime you'll feel a lot more confident in your ability to go for things, to make the right decision for yourself. In terms of your main goal, we should also have an invitation to enjoy. One of your main goals this springtime should really to try and enjoy beautiful memories and celebrations with the people you love, with your friends, with yourself, even with your community. Maybe there's a big birthday coming up like maybe there's a wedding, maybe there's like a family reunion, maybe there's like a friend's trip, something exciting coming up this springtime, celebration. It could be a trip you're taking, something you've been planning for a little while, I'm hearing, but also there could be some surprises, like some friends suddenly unexpectedly ringing you up to go on a road trip at the weekend, maybe like your romantic partner surprising you with a tickets for a concert. Maybe it's like you're deciding to go surprise your friend who lives in another state. There's an invitation to enjoy fun times, quality times, and make new memories with your loved ones. That should really be one of your main goals as well this springtime, is like making sure you are enjoying yourself, making sure you're making new memories with the people you love. Say yes to fun things, say yes to opportunities, say yes to invitations, to unexpected, like I said, trips, activities, things like that. For my Sagittarius, one of your main goals really is to make new memories this springtime and to potentially remember that life can be fun. If you've had a heavy winter, if you've not really been feeling very sociable this winter, if you've been feeling a little bit hermit mode and you've not been really feeling like you wanted to go out and have fun, I think in springtime the energies are a lot lighter and you are feeling more called to, like I said, go and see a concert, spend fun time with your friend, go on a road trip, do whatever you guys do for fun. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for that, and especially I'm even more encouraged when you can share that with the people around you who you love and cherish, your partner, your kids, your friends, your community, your family, and even yourself, taking yourself on a fun trip, treating yourself to a nice meal, like whatever you can do to make new memories, going for a day trip to the zoo, going to the theme park, whatever you guys like to do for fun. It's an invitation to focus on that as well, which, you know what, I love. I love when the homework is to have fun. That's wonderful. Okay, what to pay attention to, my Sagittarius, for this spring season? What are you invited to pay attention to? We have the Two of Wands and we have the Hierophant. So pay attention again to the ways you can expand your mind, expand your horizons, saying yes to new things. Remember, we had this feeling of adventure. I told you I had this like pirate archetype, which is more about the idea of the archetype of the adventurer who wants to go at sea and explore new places and new worlds. That's the vibe with this Two of Wands. You're invited to pay attention to the ways you can invite a sense of newness, a sense of spontaneity, and a sense of swiftness, again, of movement with Rhiannon. Rhiannon is a very quick goddess. She's a fast goddess. She's not staying in one place. I encourage you to move, to explore, to say yes to new things. And this is all the vibe of this particular Two of Wands. Saying yes to new things, embracing spontaneity, not letting yourself get stuck in a rut is really important for my Sagittarius. Potentially even as simple as changing your routine, changing what you're eating in the morning, maybe taking your route to work, maybe changing what you're listening to or what you're reading, really inviting new things into your life. In what ways can you implement change and little ways to implement newness into your life? It doesn't have to be huge, like I said. It could just be as simple as changing up the playlist you listen to, discovering new music, or changing up the kind of genre you read. You know, little things can matter and can all add up to this sense of feeling a little bit more adventurous and embracing the pilgrim archetype. Another thing to pay attention to with the Hierophant, we have again a strong recommendation here to really listen to your own guidance, to your own intuition, to your own personal sense of trust and sense of life. Wisdom for this spring season. I have a feeling, I told you, I've said that for a few of my signs, that collectively there's going to be a lot going on. There's a lot of retrograde eclipse, a lot of things happening this springtime. It could create a lot of noise collectively. My Sagittarius, you're invited to listen to your own guidance, your own intuition. Don't get swayed. Don't get influenced. Pay attention to what influences you and make sure that what influences you is something that makes you feel inspired, that makes you feel joyful, that makes you feel hopeful. If you're realizing that there's influences around you, whether that's people around you, whether that's accounts you follow on social media, whether that's patterns and habits that you cultivate, if there are some of those that you feel are more getting in the way of your growth or getting in the way of your sense of hopefulness, of joy, then this springtime, it could be the time as well to really pay attention to that and make sure that you focus on influences that are generating growth, that are generating joy, that are generating hope in your life, and removing yourself from influences and people and voices who are not there to help you cultivate this sense of joy, this sense of hope, abundance, right? So again, a super important theme for my Sagittarius: pay attention to who or what influences you. Ideally, you want to be following your own guidance, listening to your own guidance, as well as prioritizing letting yourself be influenced by energies and voices who are cultivating a sense of abundance, of hope, of expansion, of freedom. And you want to remove yourself from anyone or anything that is making you feel stuck, making you feel less than, making you feel like you could be in a cage. Right? So this is also very important. Pay attention to who or what influences you. So let's see what could be the potential blessings for my Sagittarius for this springtime. Potential blessings. We have the Devil, yep. And we have the Five of Wands, yeah. So interesting because, right, this normally, you could think, okay, how is the Devil a blessing? It is a blessing because it means that truly for this springtime, my Sagittarius are removing themselves from places and people and situations and habits and even patterns and stories that you tell yourself that are not good for you, that are unhealthy for you, that are toxic for you. I really see my Sagittarius deciding to prioritize, remember, a sense of freedom. We've talked about this since the beginning. You want to be free. So you're freeing yourself from toxic places and toxic relationships. You're freeing yourself from toxic mental patterns, from your inner critic, your inner saboteur. You're freeing yourself from potentially very critical inner dialogue or some unhealthy habits that you have. This is really you freeing yourself from energies that are no longer good for you, and there's a sense of, again, liberation here, which is super beautiful. With the Five of Wands, we also have the blessing that you guys are not getting caught up in the chaos, in the drama, in the conflict that could be around you. Remember, we've talked about it with flexible. I told you, energetically, some people could feel emotionally flammable. Not you though. You're able to remove yourself from people's conflicts, people's drama, from gossip, and being like, not my monkey, not my business. This is not my problem. I don't have to get involved. I can prioritize my inner peace. I don't have to get involved in the drama. I don't have to get involved in the conflict. I can just do me, focus on me, and not feel like my inner peace is threatened. So this is also a beautiful blessing for my Sagittarius, the ability to prioritize your inner peace and to not let other people influence your well-being, influence whether that's your emotional well-being, mental well-being, all of that, or your spiritual well-being even. So that is a huge blessing, right? Being able to remain centered, aligned, and at peace in a world that potentially feels chaotic is a huge blessing and something you can be super proud of yourself for being able to do, okay? Let's now wrap things up with some self-care messages. So we're gonna see what comes up for my Sagittarius. Little self-care message. Let's see. Whoop. What do we have? We have change direction. Interesting, right? Remember we had To the Sea with the idea of the pilgrim. Know that healing sometimes depends on the strength, willingness, and ability to change direction. Many people postpone doing so due to fear or laziness, and then they wonder why they're not happy and healthy. Your goal to make one solid, effective healing choice by the end of the day that can positively change the direction of your life. Exactly. I really feel like this springtime, my Sagittarius is going to be able to remove yourself from something that you feel is no longer good for you, something that's no longer healthy for you. Remember, you had the King of Swords, which is helping you to make the decision to act on it, to change direction, to reroute, and to move away from things or people or habits that you feel are no longer aligned. So there's a sense again of liberation here, which is so great. So I love that for my Sagittarius. Okay, let's wrap up the reading with one last little message from your guides, from your higher self. Let's see what we have. Your instincts are good, you know the way. Exactly. Remember, we had the Hierophant. I said pay attention to who or what influences you and potentially prioritize your own guidance, prioritize your own advice, prioritize listening to your own intuition, your own inner compass. You know the way. Your instincts are good. You can follow your intuition. You know what's right for you. You know what's good for you, my Sagittarius. So don't doubt yourself this springtime. And I think powerful time for you to free yourself, to quantum leap towards things that are more aligned for you, and to feel a lot more confident in yourself. And I love that so much. And I'm excited for all the adventures you're gonna have. And I can't wait to read your comment to find out, what are you planning? What fun things are you planning? Because I see a lot of beautiful times ahead for you as well. So my Sagittarius, that's all I'm saying for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated for you. If it did, don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe. Those are all free ways to support my work. I want to thank you so much for being here. I want to wish you a beautiful spring season. And until my next video, I'm sending you so much good vibes and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!